Winning World Triathlon Championships has got to be the highlight. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be World Junior Champion this year, and I couldn't have asked for much more this season. I find the two marry themselves quite well together, and I'm really happy with how they've both went this season. I mean, the running and the swimming and the cycling all seem to work off each other, and has definitely helped each of my disciplines. So yeah. Especially in the conditions, I was really happy with that time and the amount of time I managed to claw back in the position I secured from that. So yeah, if I can keep working at that and see what it can bring me, then I'm excited.
To be honest, I was just so happy to get back on the start line, and making it to the championship events like Europeans and Worlds was not even in the race plan to start with, and it's just amazing to finish off a junior career on such a high in the end. And I'm looking forward to see what I can bring in the under-23 seasons now. Well, I'd actually already won the gold back in 2013 when I was a little youth racing up as well. So to come and do it in my first ever European Juniors and then my last ever European Juniors was just exciting in itself. But it's just such a thrilling event. It's so nice to be part of Team GB and get to race as a team. And the racing's just so exciting. Like, it's so unpredictable. You don't have a clue who's going to win. You can have the best team, but you never know until someone's crossed that finish line.
Yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable. It's such an honour to be bestowed this award among such a talented field. I mean, enough can't be said about the class of the guys who I'm racing with day in, day out, and it really fills me with pride to call them also my friends and fellow Brits as well. Yeah, we really are racing in a privileged era. The juniors, so obviously Ben and Alex are still juniors, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the step up to the Olympic distance, and yeah, training in Leeds here is the best place in the triathlon centre. So yeah, look forward to the step up to the standard distance.
By practice, and I guess one of the biggest things with Hazel is it's that ability to not worry when you get it wrong and not be afraid to fail and learn from that.
Yeah, for me it was kind of that, like Alistair said, not being scared of failing, and then having her trust to kind of be like, she's still there if you get it wrong, and kind of trying it time and time again, and then eventually you just get it right, and it's amazing.
It was amazing. The whole race was such an amazing atmosphere, and to get to that finish line together and knowing that we did it as a team was amazing.
Susie, we did a fake race, and the saddle was pointed upwards, and Alistair was saying, the saddle's in the wrong place, and I'm like, okay. How bad is the pain? Is it hurting your back, or is it hurting you? And Alistair was just like, no, it's just hurting my. So yeah, no,
I think
keep
I'm
going.
choosing between the two. I've gone for it hurting that instead.
So we're like, okay, we'll keep going. It's fine. I was like.
No, that's why when I finished my race, I said, what just happened, you know, going through that. And yeah, like I said, the pressure and things of European and Worlds as well, and going into that race, I just never expected to come away with a goal. I was hoping for a podium. Qualifying was difficult anyway in its own right, but yeah, to get there and to walk away with a gold medal was just ecstatic, really. Do you know what? It was the sacrifices that we all make as athletes, but for me, leaving a full-time job, leaving my kids at home, I missed my little boy's first steps, his first words. It was quite emotional at the time on FaceTime back home to my wife, but I did it for them. You know, I did it because I knew that ultimately I said before I set out to do it that I wanted to achieve something, and I wanted to achieve the best I could, and the gold was the only thing, really. My daughter's 9, my little boy's only 2.5, so he doesn't really understand things at the moment. He just, every time I come home, he's just ecstatic for me to be home. And if I have to go back out the door again, he hangs on to me because he thinks I'm going to go away for long periods again. But my little daughter, she just started doing all the park runs and stuff. She's just started getting quite active in the running scene. So yeah, she loves it. And we went into one of the shops and there was a big queue. And what was quite funny was she said to me, she was looking like this around the shop, and I said, Jasmine, you'll have to just wait a minute. She said, Dad, can't you just tell him who you are? No, it doesn't work like that, darling. So yeah, it's been a bit crazy for me. It's been a bit crazy for them, but all in all, a really enjoyable moment. I sort of signed up with an ambassador for a charity called Duathlete One Foundation, and they help kids with lose limbs through meningitis and things like that, and adults get into sport through when they're losing limbs, and help them get prosthetics and running and things. So when I work with them, children, and also when I go into the schools and I meet the kids, and you know, like we've been saying here tonight, where the kids are not really active, not getting into sport, for me, once I see them doing something, it inspires me, so it makes me sort of keep going, and sort of I'm inspiring those kids, so they're my inspiration. That's what makes me keep going. I really, really do hope now, with the Triathlon Trust and with other people pushing the sort of boundaries and stuff, to get more kids involved in our sport, and let's just hope it grows for over the next 4 years.
Yeah, I think it's been a long time coming, actually. We've had such a strong heritage of triathlon in Great Britain, not just with the guys, with Alistair and Johnny, but with the girls' side as well. And Helen was sort of a real pioneer for me, really. I remember her winning her first world title in 2008, and it's been a really long time since then for us to win a medal. So I'm just really honoured and delighted that it was me who got the first one. I think Non will be back with a vengeance, absolutely. I'd really love to see Jodie make an Olympics after being so close in both Rio and for London. In terms of externally, outside of Great Britain, I think Gwen has ambitions on being back for 2020. I know she wants to start a family, but she might well be back. And I think in terms of the youth of today, there's one or two coming through. Cassandra Beaugrand, the French girl, is one that springs to mind. Our very own Georgia Taylor-Brown as well is definitely one to look for. So we'll see.
Well, thank you very much. 2016 has been a great year for me. Obviously, it was all about the Olympic Games, and so to achieve that goal was fantastic. It's the end of a very long and tough 4-year cycle for me, and it was always the plan, in my head at least, to have a decent bit of time off now. So I'm kind of spending the time not trying to think too much about the future, just enjoying the time off, and enjoying, I guess, the achievements and earning the time off as well. And I'm planning on refocusing early in the new year, getting back to what I love, which is training, and deciding what kind of races I want to do. It's funny, I mean, there's loads of times in a race. I knew starting on the swim, I was like, oh, I'm having a good day today. Splitting it early on the bike and feeling good was really important. And then from early on the run, I kind of felt on top of it, and that was feeling good, and which was fantastic. But yeah, I think the whole thing about the process of trying to be as good as you can on the day and focusing on the race is you don't let yourself get ahead of yourself. And so it's not really till you hit that blue carpet on the final lap that you really let yourself think, wow, I've got this here. I think Tokyo, 4 years is a long time, and for me, coming from a young guy, I went to Beijing as a 20-year-old, and I wasn't that far off a podium, really. And so some of these young guys, like Alex Yee and Ben Dijkstra and Sam Dickinson, they might not be far off, but there's a lot to see yet. It's a very, very untold path how people progress, but those guys could be good, and I think there's a very good chance that Johnny could be there.